This is cropped handheld iPhone footage provided to the Federal Bureau of Investigation showing a luminous, plasma-like sphere hovering above a small pond in the northeastern United States. According to statements given to the FBI, the sighting occurred in October 2024 at approximately 1851 local time, and the eyewitness estimated the object was about 2,700 feet away. The clip was examined and authenticated by the United States government and was made public through the FBI Pursue program on June 12, 2026. The agency assessed the individual who reported the event as highly credible. Visually, the primary source appears as a bright, rounded light that intermittently changes shape and luminosity. At moments, the main glow separates into several smaller luminous points. A distinct smaller point remains positioned just above the water beneath the larger source. The published account states this feature did not appear consistent with a surface reflection. The eyewitness reported no audible sound associated with the lights. The recording is handheld and has been cropped to protect the witness. Aside from that privacy protective change, the FBI states no edits, enhancements, or alterations were made to the imagery. Early in the clip, the object holds a generally stationary position near the horizon over the pond and remains visible for roughly 45 minutes before disappearing from view. The pattern of changing form, intermittent subdivision into smaller lights, and the near-surface point are the features that stand out in this footage. The handheld frame occasionally shifts, and the image shows motion blur and exposure changes that are typical of low-light smartphone capture. Those artifacts are visible in the footage and are part of the published authentication. Because this clip has been cropped for privacy, peripheral reference points such as nearby trees or structures are not visible, which makes independent geolocation from the public video more difficult. The witness's distance estimate of roughly 2,700 feet is cited in the report. Without additional sensor corroboration, that number remains an eyewitness estimate rather than an instrument measurement. Because the recording was taken at dusk or night, judging absolute scale and color from the video alone is difficult. The published description relies on the eyewitness estimate for distance and duration. The witness describes the object as plasma-like, and that description matches the way the light seems to flow and reform rather than remain as a rigid shape. At several points, the luminance drops and then brightens again, and when the primary glow subdivides, the smaller points trace roughly the same location, suggesting they are related rather than independent aircraft. The presence of a luminous point just above the water is particularly striking, and it remained visible for most of the observation interval, vanishing along with the primary glow. This item is part of a group of files the FBI associates with reports from the same general area in the northeastern United States, and the agency links the imagery here to related case files and further footage in its collection. The combination of a credible eyewitness, government authentication, and a sustained, close-range display over water makes this record noteworthy for investigators and for anyone studying anomalous aerial and luminous phenomena. The video offers no immediate technical explanation in its published description. Independent analysis would require original capture conditions and supporting witness statements. For viewers, the most verifiable elements are the morphology of the light, its relative stability, the presence of a secondary near-surface point, and the lack of accompanying sound as reported by the witness. We do not attempt to identify the object here. Instead, this narration presents the known observations and the agency assessment so viewers can judge what was recorded. Find the case file, related footage and sighting reports, and our weekly UAP News podcast at uapdrop.com.